Hi everyone, it's Leilani. Welcome back to my channel. So today it's time to add more to my October daily. So today we are going to be adding 3 more stories into my album for this year. Plus, we're going to tackle this little section right here. So if you remember back in my first video, I did have this picture of pumpkins. This was just when me and my mom were out shopping. One day I snapped a photo of the pumpkins at Sprouts, but I printed it off as a large size photo and I wanted to add it here after my small little Beetlejuice insert. So I never added anything on it. So really quickly, I wrote up a tiny bit of journaling there and then I just added a title. So we're going to be working on this next spread, but before we do, I'm going to read you what I wrote on that one, the picture of the pumpkins. So I said, "It's so fun when October hits and instantly pumpkins are everywhere, cinnamon and spices are in just about every drink, and Halloween decorations take over. I love to peek at all of the fun-colored pumpkins and gourds while we are out and to grab little spooky bits to add to our ever-growing collection." So I just wanted to add a little something on that page, and I kind of kept forgetting to do it. So finally, that is done. So moving on to the first real spread of this video. It's actually all about Goosebumps, one of my favorite spooky things. So what I'm doing is I grabbed out this paper from, I think it's like Maggie Holmes. I'm not exactly sure which collection, but I love these little frames, and I use them off camera in a layout that I did of some of mine and Will's 5-year wedding or anniversary, photos. So I really loved how in that particular spread, I used my X-Acto knife and I just took out the middle of these frames and I added in photos. So I thought that I might want to do that for October daily. Just the fact that those frames are like black and white, I just think automatically they kind of work with October. So originally in my mind, I think I mentioned this in my haul video that I posted earlier in the season, that I was thinking about doing like an Only Murders in the Building spread, which I still love that idea for these frames. I feel like it really goes with the vibe of the show. But me and Will have not watched any more episodes of Only Murders in the Building together this year. So we do have plans to watch some spooky movies and things like that. So I just feel like I probably won't get around to that spread anytime soon. So I thought instead I would have the same idea. So I cut out all of the frames that I needed, and then I just used my X-Acto knife and trimmed out the middle section so that I could put a photo behind. Then you'll see that I printed off all of these Goosebump book covers here, and I did roughly measure each of the frames so that I could at least have an idea of how big or small to print off those book covers, and then I added them in. So you'll see I did all of that. Now I have them all ready to go. So I'm just going to position them onto my layout. Now this purple paper is actually the back side of that frame paper. So it's also Maggie Holmes. And again, I thought it worked really nicely. It's purple. Purple's definitely like a more modern Halloween color. And I thought, why not? I'm going to use it. So I'm just going to place all of my frames here onto my spread and just kind of get my general layout going. And then I'm going to use the other side of the double 3x4 pocket page that I used in the last video, and going to add in my title and my journaling and another photo. So basically what my story is going to be about is all about watching Goosebumps throughout the season. So I've actually been watching the TV show, but there's not or I couldn't find a really good representation of like the TV show episodes, like Googling. So what I did was I just printed off the book covers. So I've been watching a lot of episodes, of course, The Haunted Mask, The Haunted Mask 2, a couple of the Night of the Living Dummy ones, The Girl Who Cried Monster, The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, and Welcome to Dead House. So I've been kind of watching all these episodes, and they've just been so much fun. So as I'm talking about them, I'll actually read you my journaling. So I wrote, "A fun thing I've been putting on in the background throughout this spooky season is old Goosebump episodes. They are so corny, but super nostalgic and are perfect for this time of year. The Haunted Mask is definitely my favorite. Carly Beth's creepy laugh is terrifying, and the Halloween vibes are unmatched." So yeah, I love The Haunted Mask. I think if you're from like my same general time, The Haunted Mask was like a huge episode or kind of movie kind of thing from for Halloween season, at least for me it was, and always thought it was kind of spooky. And looking back, really the actress that does Carly Beth is so good, and I still think that it's a super good like children's horror episode for sure. And it does take place at Halloween time, so it's just perfect. So of course I printed off my journaling on the clear sticker paper, and I'm adding it here on this card. Now, I do really love the way that this card looks with the Happy Haunting title. I do change that eventually, and I don't know if I am kicking myself for that or not. The reason why I end up changing it is because all of my other stories, I used the Sophie Alpha stamp from Citrus Twist to create a title, but on this one, I did not. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think it would have been fine to keep, but I did go and do a stamp title. Of course, if I end up not wanting to keep it, I still have that Happy Haunting embellishment, so I probably could place it over the stamp title. So we'll just see what happens, but I do end up changing it here eventually as we continue with the spread. So that one is done for now, and then we're going to move on to my second story, which is my big story for this video, and it's all about going to the pumpkin patch with Will. So the first thing that I did was I chose one photo of us from the pumpkin patch that I wanted to print off bigger. And I did print it off actually bigger than my other large photos so far, because I just went ahead and measured the full size of that Goosebumps layout. So instead of just printing my photo off at like the 6x8 that I normally would, I measured the size of that spread, which with accounting for the holes that you're punching, I think it was like 7 by maybe like a little over 8. So I can't remember. But anyway, I printed that off so that I could just punch my holes directly into the photo and it would be a little bit bigger. So I like the way that that looks. And then I have a piece of the paper from the Echo Park collection over here on the next side. So just like I've been doing throughout, I am going to have a pocket page in the middle. But for now, we're going to just work on like the full size photo with the coordinating layout to the side. So for this layout, what I ended up doing was I was trying to figure out how I wanted to incorporate several photos. So as I was just kind of like looking around in my craft room, I found they're from, I think they're the Snap brand, and they are these like circle templates. So they're essentially just like really thick plastic, and you can use them as templates to create different size circles. So they have them from like, I think 2-inch all the way up to 4-inch or so. So I printed off my photos at these different sizes, and I knew that I was going to then use those templates to create my circles, which is what you saw me doing. Now, just to make them pop a little bit, I did go back with a piece of white cardstock and I just like roughly created a very thin border around each of them. And then I am placing them onto my layout. So in general, I had an idea of where I wanted all of them just by playing around with the circles and just trying to create like a flow on the spread. But I just kind of made it up as I went. You know, it wasn't anything too serious, but I kind of knew the placement that I wanted. So you can see I'm just doing a cluster of these circles. Then I did find another circle in the Paige Evan Treats and Tricks or Tricks and Treats or whatever embellishment pack from that collection. This says Happy Halloween, so I thought the circle went nicely, so I add that on as well. And I really ended up liking the way this looked. I was not really very sure whenever I was first creating it, but I ended up really liking it. So I will add a few other embellishments to that one as we go, and then we'll work on the little double 3x4 page protector that will go in the middle as well. So here I just printed off 2 more photos at 3x4s, and then again, I'm going to do my journaling and my title. Y'all know the drill, kind of the same idea throughout all of these spreads. And then I do go ahead and cut out one of the cut aparts. That's a 3x4 so that I could place that on the back side. So for this one, I am going to stamp out Pumpkin Patch here. And then my journaling says, one of my most loved October traditions is definitely going to the pumpkin patch. Will and I have been going together since the very beginning of our relationship, and it really starts to feel like the season is here when we are walking through Cedar Hill Farm. We love feeding the animals, grabbing a soda from the glass bottle, and chilling under the tents for a bit, and of course having our pumpkin photo shoot. This year, it even felt like fall, the best. So just a little bit about our pumpkin patch experience. So I do love going. Definitely let me know if you guys enjoy going to the pumpkin patch or if you have like a fall tradition that you like to do every single year. So this is definitely one of mine. So I like the way that this looks with the photo underneath of just all the different kind of pumpkins. I really like how this pumpkin patch in general has like a setup. It has a really cute barn with like these almost like big wooden trough looking things that have all of the pumpkins in them. And there are just so many to choose from. And it has like a nice backdrop for photos. So I really think that that is fun. So I added a little bit of washi, a couple puffy stickers just for cuteness, and then added my other photo on the back. It's of just like some sort of old pumpkin-y decoration that they had out that I thought was cute. Then you'll see the cut apart there that says, I've got this feeling inside my bones with the skeleton. Also adorable. I love when collections include a cut apart sheet because they really do come in handy to already have like filler cards created so you don't have to make everything from scratch, which is really nice. And then I'm just adding a few other embellishments over here, a couple bats that I thought kind of like finished off the little circular areas nicely, along with a few puffy stickers. We have some little stars there, and then also these really tiny enamel dots. These particular ones are from Doodlebug, I think, but I have a few different puffy sticker packs that I'm just kind of like mixing and matching. Now we're back over here to the Goosebump layout. So I didn't mention that along with all of my frames, I did add 3 flags that were also in the Paige Evans ephemera pack, and then added just some of the washi that I'm using. And I really think that that helped to finish off the page. Now here's where I took that happy haunting embellishment off, and I didn't want to write Goosebumps because Goosebumps is written so many times on all of these book covers. So I end up just spelling out spooky. I also wanted something that was obviously a smaller title as well. So I spell out spooky, and it's not that I don't like it. I do like it, but I'm like, was it necessary? No, probably not. But that's me second guessing things. I did add that little piece of washi, and I wasn't feeling that at all. So I'm going to change it out for a full piece of this darker washi and just stretch it across the entire card. And I believe that's it for this one. You will notice, I'm not sure if I was doing it in the last video or not, but I have gone through and I popped on the dates, like just a date stamp throughout. So these were all date stamped, and I went back and I date stamped all my other spreads whenever I didn't originally date stamp them. That just kind of like slipped my mind. And it is something that I like doing in October Daily because although I absolutely love to add numbers to the different stories, for me, October, like the obvious numbers would be 13 stories or 31 stories, and like 13 is too small and 31 is just way too many for me. So I just end up just doing away with the whole idea of the like numbering. But the date stamp I think is nice to kind of give a flow to your album so you can start at the beginning of the month and end with the end of the month. So here, I already had all of my paper picked out and cut down, so that also made like this video go by a lot quicker, but I chose this paper here from Social Paper Plan, super cute. And then I have 3 2x2 photos printed off of s'mores dip that me and Will made. So I don't know if I'm the only one, but online I have seen several videos of this like air fry s'mores dip. So I knew that we had to try that. So I grabbed all of the ingredients on Monday morning when I was out, and I wanted to kind of have a cozy night after our pumpkin patch day. So we made a chickpea pot pie, which we love. We've had that one other time. I actually recorded that in my recipe book that I have not added to in so long, but I do have some videos over here for my recipe book. But anyway, we made that, which was a nice, like kind of, fall cozy meal. And then we also tried the s'mores dip. So I wanted this layout to be super simple. So I have my 3 2x2 photos. Then I have this really cute little label that was also in the Paige Evans embellishments. Then I just wrote out or typed out, we had to try the air fryer s'mores dip, yum, and put that inside and then embellished it. And then, of course, I wanted a title. So I pull out my same stamp set. This time, instead of stamping directly onto the paper, I had a little extra piece of this polka dot, so I'm just stamping it onto the polka dot paper. I'll cut it out and I'll add it on as a title so that it wouldn't get lost in my paper there. So I really loved the way that that looked. The s'mores dip was so good. You put parchment paper in your air fryer and then you put it on. I couldn't find like an exact temperature, so we just kind of played around, but you just put your marshmallows in there with your chocolate. Obviously, you kind of just watch it, get it to the melted, burnt, whatever kind of consistency that you want. And then, of course, use graham crackers as your chip and you have dip. And it was so good. So, oh my gosh, very sweet, but amazing. So that was a fun little thing to add in here. And I always like to add like the snacks that we're making or the things that we're baking or the meals that we're eating, things like that for the season. So I loved adding this one on as well. I'm going to date stamp it, added a couple stickers, and we're going to call this one done. So these were really easy, but really fun. I'm having such a blast working on my October daily. I can't wait to get in the craft room and work on the next ones. It's just been so much fun. So here at the very end, I am adding on a couple of these tabs that were included in the Paige Evans embellishments. I put out my tab punch onto my desk because I want to remember I can also make my own if I want to. I do use one other piece of the ribbon that I have, and I'm going to add it onto this 3x4 card here in just a second as like a little tab as well. And that's the last thing that I'll do before I give you a quick flip through of my pages. So super fun. I love adding those really small stories like the Goosebumps one to the bigger stories like the pumpkin patch. It just is so fun to flip through and see all of the little bits and pieces of the season, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So here is, actually, let me put all the pages back in place, and then I'll be giving you a quick flip through of the pages that we worked on today. I already have all of my ideas for things lined up for my next video. I hope that you guys have been enjoying these October daily videos. They've been so fun to share over here. I hope that y'all are having a super fun holiday season and that this album is giving you some crafty ideas. Other than that, friends, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a like and consider subscribing. I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.